Hi guys, so I'm gonna show you how I make my emoji cards. So you can see here this is how I make my emoji cards. So I use an app called Emoji for the symbols. So yeah, so first off we're gonna start with this grouping symbol and make sure the font is the fun font. Yeah, that font, the fun font. And you can make it any color you like, but I usually go with a grayish black. But you can just do any color you want. And then next, you're gonna get that semicircle type of emoji or symbol and make it any color you want. Right now I'm just doing pink because that's my favorite color, but you can do any color you want. Make sure it's perfectly aligned on the bottom of the eyeliner or eyelids. Next, we're gonna space bar so we can put that lower eye, and it has to be perfectly symmetrical with it. It has to. You can use any font for it. Just make sure it's not like more than the semicircle or less than the semicircle because it will make it look goofy. So I'm just gonna try to arrange it here, so yeah. So I finished that. Next what you're gonna do, you're gonna get that slim triangle symbol and you have to make it the same color as the eyelid or eyeliner. We're gonna use two of it and then we're gonna put one on top of the iris or whatever it's called. And then it has the second one will be the same color as the eye color. So it will look like that. That's the eyelashes. For the ADL sound, we're gonna go to the arrow section and we're gonna scroll down to find that symbol. And then you can make it any color, but for me I recommend it to be a darker shade, that's the skin color, but right now I haven't put the skin color or head yet. Next, for the bottom eyelashes, I usually put bottom eyelashes. You're gonna use the coma and make it a darker shade of, it has to be the same color as the eyeliner. It can be used as any font, cause I switch it up most of the time. And you can just like readjust it just like that so it looks good. You can add some effects if you want, but if you don't, that's okay. I'm just gonna add some effects, so yeah. Okay, so that's how I make my eye. It's like really cute and simple. So we're gonna do the head and ears. So first, you're gonna use the heart emoji for the ears, but I'm sure all of you know that. We're gonna use two because we have two ears. For the fluff, I use the fist kick emoji, but if you're on iPhone, you can use the bubble text emoji. I don't have an iPhone, so that's why I don't use the bubble text one because it really looks bad for the fluff, so I use the fist stick. Sometimes I put a bottom fluff and I use some more hearts, but I usually put two hearts so it looks a bit cuter. But that's completely optional. Okay, so now that we're done with that, I sometimes add like some hair strands or like extra fluff. So I use the ruby symbol again and use the classy font and make sure it's a darker shade as in the head or skin color. I use two because one looks very bald looking. So this is what the head looks like with some effects and eyes. Really cute. Next, we're gonna do the nose. So we're gonna go back to the symbols and we're gonna use the diamond one and make sure it's a lighter shade of the head and then put it like that. And then we're gonna use in the comma. You can use any font again and just like put it a bit lower from the diamond and then you're done. It's really simple. Next, for the mouth, for the opening mouth, I use the D and then use the heavy font and then make it any color you want. For me, I use like a black and then shoot it in. This is kind of a bad example because it's hard to fill in. But anyways, for the next mouth is the closing mouth. I use this fancy grouping symbol and then I put the handwriting font and then just rotate it and then just in a bit, and it looks really cute and really nice. Next, for the arms, body, and legs, I'm gonna do space again. I do the body before the collar, and then we're gonna get this kind of like slanted triangle, something like that. And then if your character is a female, then you use that slanted triangle. You use two of them so it looks a bit better. Make sure the edges on the bottom one doesn't show, and just the sides, something like that. Then for the arms, for the back arms, you're gonna make it a darker shade, and then put it at the bottom of the body or torso, and then use the circle emoji or ball emoji, simple accent on emoji. Make sure it's the same color as the arm. And don't make the circle eye out of the arm for the other arm. Don't make it the same color, just a slightly darker one but not too dark. And of course, put the ball again, and then it has to also be at the bottom of the torso, yeah, as well as the triangles. And then for the color, actually the color, just do some small spaces and then make it black or any color. I prefer to use to make the colors a bit smaller and not too long. For the legs, make the dark second the same as the arm. Make the bottom one darker, and then the front one, it won't be slightly darker. It has to be the exact same color as the torso or the skin color. And then it has to be at the bottom of the torso. And then for the legs, the feet, make it a ball again and make it the same color as the leg. To highlight the feet, I use the beeping symbol and then the typewriting font and then make it a bit darker. And then put it where the feet are so you can see where it is.